Hey everyone, Graham here, your favorite Canadian jet setter, and today I'm taking you along for a luxurious business class flight from Hong Kong to Bangkok on Cathay Pacific. Let me tell you, this was one of those experiences where points really makes you feel like you've leveled up in life. We're diving deep into the lounges, the in-flight experience, and a few travel hacks along the way that helped me score this flight for next to nothing. So, Cathay Pacific, you've probably heard of them. They're one of the big players in the OneWorld alliance and have been known for their top-tier service out of Hong Kong for years. But I've seen some recent reviews where people say Cathay has fallen off. To that I say, I guess I'm still a bit of a travel hillbilly, because this flight absolutely blew my mind. From the lounges to the onboard service, I felt like I was living in the lap of luxury. What's interesting here is that I actually used Aeroplan points, a Star Alliance program, to book this OneWorld flight. That's the beauty of points. Sometimes they don't play by the same alliance rules. I'll get into how I pulled that off later, but for now, let's talk about how this trip started. Welcome to Hong Kong International Airport, HKJ. If you haven't been, you're missing out. It's a stunning airport. Bright, spacious, and just overall beautifully designed. I'm talking about soaring ceilings, tons of natural light, and get this, there's a children's play structure that looks like it belongs in a modern art museum. It's the kind of place where you could spend hours people watching and plane spotting. Business class check-in, smooth and easy. I barely had time to take in my surroundings before I was through. And security? No wait at all, which honestly, I've found this is often the case in Asia. Super efficient, and you're not left standing around in a never-ending line at some other airports I won't mention. And for you night owls or McNuggets enthusiasts, there's a 24-hour McDonald's. Though, depending on your willpower, that actually might be dangerous for your waist. Now, onto one of my favorite parts, the lounges. Before my flight, I made it a point to visit not one, not two, but 3 lounges. That's one of the perks of flying business class with Cathay. Your ticket grants you access to all 3 of their lounges. And trust me, if you've got the time and don't mind hiking through the airport, you can, and probably should, hit all of them. Let me show you why. The Wing Lounge. First up, the Wing. It's super convenient because it's right after security. So if you're in a rush or just want to grab a quick snack and drink before boarding, this is the spot. The design here is sleek and modern, with huge windows overlooking the runway. The views are perfect for plane spotting. Now let's talk about food and drinks. The highlight here is the made-to-order noodle bar. Because what's a trip to Hong Kong without noodles, right? They've also got dim sum, a buffet, and a solid drink menu featuring champagne, cocktails, and a personal favorite, the Negroni. I had one while watching planes take off, and for me, it really doesn't get much better than that. The Pier Lounge. Next, we have the Pier, which is kind of the OG of Cathay lounges. This one is a bit of a walk from the main entrance, but it is absolutely worth it. The decor here is on another level. Think wood, green tiles, and cozy, comfy seating everywhere. If the Wing feels more modern and bright, the Pier is more luxury retreat. It's perfect for relaxing a little bit before a long flight, or relaxing a lot before a little flight. I did the latter. The food here is incredible. You've got another noodle bar, because why not? Dim sum, Hong Kong style roasted meats, and oh, they've got a full-on tea house. It's so peaceful that I almost forgot to catch my flight. There's also showers and a relaxation room if you really want to unwind. And yes, more champagne, because Cathay Pacific just gets it. American Express Centurion Lounge. Lastly, I swung by the American Express Centurion Lounge. Now, I love a good Centurion Lounge as much as the next person, but compared to Cathay's offerings, it didn't stand a chance. Still, it's the least busy Centurion Lounge I've ever been to, which was a big plus. As always with Centurion lounges, the bar menu was strong. Great cocktail options if that's your thing. It's my thing. And the plane spotting here was good too. Flight experience. Alright, now onto the main event, the flight. I was flying on Cathay Pacific's business class on their Airbus A350, which, as all my av geeks will know, is one of the best aircraft in the skies. Smooth, quiet, and packed with tech. It's hard to beat this for both short or long haul flights. Let's talk about the seat. It's a reverse herringbone setup, which is pretty standard in business class, but Cathay Pacific always adds a little extra. The seat itself was super spacious, with more storage than I ever knew what to do with. Seriously, I felt like I could have packed for another trip. Plus, the seat controls are handled by physical buttons that control your recline. And honestly, I prefer this over the touchpads you see on most other airlines. It's way more tactile, easier to use, and let's be real, it just looks cooler. And speaking of the in-flight entertainment, there's a PSP style remote to control it, which was great, though sadly, it didn't come preloaded with Crash Bandicoot. A missed opportunity if you ask me. But on the bright side, the in-flight entertainment screen folds into the wall, giving you unobstructed views out of the window. Now let's get into the in-flight service. It was warm and friendly, as you'd expect. My My only complaint, it was not super plentiful. The crew seemed to have a tough time covering the whole business class cabin, especially on a shorter flight like this. I ordered a Manhattan right after takeoff, which yes, I did eventually get, but it didn't show up until my dinner arrived a full hour and 10 minutes into the flight. Not the worst timing, but I was definitely thirsty by then. Of course, I did start the flight with a Cathay Delight, their signature drink made of milk, coconut milk, kiwi juice, and mint leaves. It's ridiculously refreshing, and if you ever fly Cathay, this is the first thing you should order. Pro tip. For dinner, despite all the lounge food I had already eaten, I couldn't resist going with the grilled prime Australian beef tenderloin. Let me just say, I am never going back to economy meals after this. Naturally, I saved room for dessert too. Maybe this is why the seats are so spacious, to fit you with all the meals you just ate. For me, it was Haagen-Dazs ice cream and a cup of coffee. Because why not? It's business class. I'm living the dream here. Now, while the entertainment system had a solid selection of movies and shows, my favorite feature by far was the onboard cameras. You can live stream views from outside the plane right on your IFE screen. Watching the takeoff and landing from the camera feed is strangely satisfying. It was tough to decide between that and my beloved flight map. All in all, this was a fantastic flight. And if this is what they deliver on short haul, I can't wait to see what a long haul flight with them is like. How I booked this. Now I know you're dying of curiosity. Let me share how I booked this. This flight was part of a larger Aeroplan redemption that included Vancouver to Hong Kong using 75,000 Aeroplan points. Cathay Pacific is an Aeroplan partner, but only for a few select flights within Asia. Here's the first hack I used. You can fly up to 7,500 miles in total on Aeroplan points without increasing the points cost. Just a small increase in taxes and fees. The Vancouver to Hong Kong leg was just 6,392 miles. Hong Kong to Bangkok is only another 1,049 miles. So in total, I flew 7,441 miles, just under the limit to keep the points cost at 75,000. I did have to spend an extra 5,000 for my stopover in Hong Kong, but that was well worth the amazing 4 days there. Here's where it gets even better. I had originally booked this leg on Ethiopian Airlines, but last minute, Cathay Pacific opened up availability on Aeroplan. Thanks to a minor schedule change on the Ethiopian Airlines flight, I was able to switch to Cathay Pacific for free. Normally it would cost $100 per person for a change fee, but hey, luck was on my side this time. Even if I had to pay, it would have been well worth the extra $100 just for the lounge experiences alone. All in all, the Cathay Pacific business class experience was excellent. It felt even sweeter that I didn't really even have to spend a point on it. From the lounges to the seat to the amazing service, Cathay Pacific is still a top tier experience in my book. And remember, with the right point strategy, this kind of travel is within reach. No $10,000 required. Want to see my travel point strategy for this year? Click right here. Thanks for flying along with me today. Until next time, see you in the skies.